This is the STV News. Good evening. Police Scotland expects to make further arrests after what they say was disgraceful crowd trouble at yesterday's match between Celtic and Rangers. Both clubs claim their fans were targeted with bottles and missiles at full time. Ollie Dickinson has more.
Well, for the second time in a month, the spotlight following a game between Rangers and Celtic is firmly on events off the pitch rather than those on it. Both sets of supporters clashed at full time, with each club saying that their supporters had been targeted. Police Scotland have defended their policing of the match, saying it was proportionate in its size and response, and they're warning that those responsible can expect action to be taken.
We work very closely with the club, with the safety officers and with others to ensure that an event is delivered safely so that people can enjoy it. On this occasion, of course, a small number have spoilt that from both sides, from both sets of fans, and it's our intention to pursue them and to arrest them and bring them to justice. So I would hope that number would increase, sadly.
Well, following yesterday's match, Rangers said that their supporters had been targeted with bottles and missiles and that elderly and disabled fans had been injured. Celtic said that their fans had been hit with bottles and chairs and that stewards at the ground had also been injured. Yesterday, Police Scotland made 8 arrests, 2 of them inside the ground, but as we've been hearing, that number is expected to rise and rise significantly. Ollie Dickinson, STV News, Celtic Park.
The First Minister has defended Scotland's Test and Protect system after figures reveal more than 500,000 people with COVID were not contacted by the tracing service. It comes as the programme and self-isolation rules come to an end as the country enters a new phase of the pandemic. Here's our political reporter, Laura Alderman.
The buzz is back at this barbershop in Aberdeen. Now guidance on self-isolation has been scrapped in favour of the stay-at-home message for those with COVID symptoms. It means fewer staff off rota and more clients in the door.
It's positive news. It places trust in businesses and it places trust in the public to do the right thing, and I have absolute confidence that they will. At the peak of the pandemic, I mean, it was a common practice to see 20-30% of your appointments for the day cancelled because of COVID.
The requirement for testing has also been dropped, but it will remain available to certain groups, like health and social care workers and care home visitors, so high-risk groups remain protected.
I think we need to carry on with the testing just now because although we can go out into the wider public with no mask on, we have to be conscious of the fact we're coming into a care home where they are more vulnerable, they're more likely to pick it up, and it could have a major impact on them.
If they're coming in here, they didn't want to pass the symptoms to the resident, and they didn't want to end up catching COVID. I want everything back to normal, and I want to be able to go out and meet people, and go to the terminals and go to the tea dance.
Contact tracing has also come to an end, but new figures reveal the system was unable to reach more than 500,000 people who tested positive for the virus.
We think that position is utterly shocking, and the SNP's Health Secretary, Humza Yousaf, now has some very serious questions to answer about why this system went so badly wrong on his watch.
I think we were being told this on the ground and they were telling us there was problems, but the government were very much in denial of this. So this is, I think, quite a revelation that actually that was the case.
But today the First Minister defended the system.
But Test and Protect and the job it's been doing, it has done an outstanding job at all phases of this. It's been a tough job when case rates have been soaring, but it has performed the task it was there to perform. And I really do think we, as a country, owe a big debt of gratitude to those who made that system work.
Although COVID cases in Scotland continue to fall, for those who are shielding or caring for a vulnerable person, the risks and the pandemic itself are far from over. Laura Alderman, STV News.
Police Scotland have confirmed a further 4 women have come forward with allegations of sexual abuse against a former GP. Last month, Krishna Singh was found guilty of 54 charges of sexual assault against his patients over a 35-year period. Police Scotland say they expect more women to come forward with allegations of sexual abuse. Train drivers could strike for the first time in 20 years following a pay dispute. ASLEF, the drivers' union, says ScotRail's offer of a 2.2% rise has left them with no option but to consider action. ScotRail says it's very disappointing and that the offer recognised the cost of living challenges staff face. Transport Scotland says it hopes an agreement can be reached soon. A Ukrainian exchange student in Glasgow says she's determined to continue her university studies despite her family being caught up in the war. Nevia Karlanova has been volunteering at the Baby Box Appeal while attending virtual lectures. The items gathered are being shipped to her hometown. Susan Ripple went to meet her.
Nevia came to Scotland last September as an exchange student. She had a flight booked to return to Ukraine on the 25th of February, but the day before, Russia invaded.
For me, it was like several hours which I missed for being like reunited with my family, but this is probably what was meant to happen, because if I was not here, we were not able to help and like to make all these efforts and to send them directly to people who are in such a need.
And Nevia has put all of her focus on volunteering. She comes here as much as she can, where baby boxes with vital supplies are being sent to Ukraine. But it's hard for her to stay optimistic when she sees the images of home. This is her relative's house in Mariupol. She lost contact with them for a number of days, but has now received word they're safe.
I was always thinking that this will not happen to me and to my relatives when you're just scanning and just all these lists of people who are already dead, but they were from Mariupol. This is just horrible experience, especially like for me, I'm so emotional about this too and all my relatives. So this was a great sense of relief.
Bochan is also an exchange student. He's preparing for his exams right now, staying in contact with relatives still in Kyiv as often as he can. He only arrived in Scotland at the start of the year.
It's hard to understand the whole picture of it, being here, because here it's peaceful atmosphere, everything's fine, everything feels really good, and at the same time reading news about bombing, all of these missiles and all of that, understanding that there's not a single city can be really a safe space.
Both Nevia and Bochan are determined to keep going with their studies, not just for their futures, but also their countries. Susan Ripple, STV News, Glasgow.
Plans have been unveiled for a major Gaelic cultural centre in the Highlands. A crowdfunding campaign has been launched in Inverness to create a hub for all things related to the language, from everyday use in speech and writing to cultural events. They say it will be a huge boost for Gaelic, as well as a big draw for tourists to the region. Now here's Philip with your weather.
A light drizzle is coming in from the west. TUI Blue Hotels sponsor STV Weather.
Hello there. Well, as we head through the rest of this evening and overnight, there's very little change from what we've seen through the course of the day. Across the north of the mainland, Orkney and Shetland, this is where we'll have the best chance of any drier conditions and one or two clear spells. Elsewhere, though, we're holding on to that thick cloud and the chance of some showery outbreaks of rain and drizzle. There will also be the chance of some low cloud mist and fog patches in places too. So with all the cloud around, temperatures not dropping too far, lows tonight of around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius, but everywhere escaping the chance of frost. Looking ahead to tomorrow, unfortunately another unsettled and changeable day to come. Still a lot of cloud around, some mist and fog first thing, and the chance of one or two showers, the heaviest of which will be across parts of Ayrshire and Lanarkshire through the afternoon. Where the cloud breaks, though, there will be some sunny spells, but it is feeling cooler than today, highs of 11 or 12 degrees Celsius. Now looking ahead to Wednesday, we'll have seen a frontal system move eastwards across the country. It's left behind a lot of cloud and we will see some widespread showers. Temperatures will be up a couple of degrees, so feeling warmer, highs of 15. Bye-bye.
TUI Blue Hotels sponsor STV Weather.
And that's all from the STV Newsroom for now. You can keep up to date on the STV News app. From everyone here on the evening team, do enjoy the rest of your Bank Holiday Monday. Bye for now.